What's going on? Michelle Allen of A Sharp Photo, the one and only plus size certified photographer on the planet. Really briefly, I want to talk with you about one way that you can get more bang for your buck when you shoot. And that's, it's really simple. It's by having a concept or an idea in mind that you want to create. And it really drives the whole shoot. At one point, so I've done two things before that kind of, personal photo projects, which is so important. Like you can work and you can do photo shoots and have people pay you, but you really develop as an artist if you kind of do these personal projects because you're going to put thought and effort into something that's just coming out of you. Nobody's making you do anything or pushing you to do anything. So I definitely encourage you to do your own personal projects. So I did one project where it was supposed to be a year long, and the goal was to process an image every day. And when I finished that, I did what I called a Project 52, where the goal was to have, okay, I'm going to have 52 different topics to explore, and I will shoot for a week based on this topic. And then, at the end of that week, I would, kind of post my work, which is something I probably should go back to. Just definitely give me something to do. And those topics were anything from a color to a focal length. So like literally, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to shoot just using my 24 millimeter or just using my 50 millimeter, and see, kind of experiment and, really like explore the 50 millimeter lens and what can I do and what can't I do, etc. Colors, time of day, specific lighting, all of these things. I would really explore a topic for a week, and doing it for a week would give me a better understanding of that particular topic, right? So when you think about when you have to shoot somebody, instead of just shooting and making pretty pictures, what would be so much better would be if you say, okay, what are we doing? And sometimes people know. Sometimes people are shooting something specific. And if they're shooting something specific, you should let that drive. But if they don't know, kind of make a decision. Kind of say, okay, this is what I want to come up with this image, with this shoot. And when you do that, you come up with images that are much stronger because you're doing a thing. You're not just, well, he's pretty, she's pretty, we'll just take pretty pictures. So for instance, like I know, like I love cosplay, right? So if I'm shooting cosplay, it's like, well, who are you cosplaying? And if you know who they're cosplaying, then if you don't know the character, you should do research on that character. And then at that point, you can figure out, well, where would they be? Okay, I know where the character would be. How does this character typically pose? And that information is going to be in the comic books or on the cartoon that they come from, you know. And then this is pushing it further, and then of course this puts you in the realm of directing, and not just shooting. But it's like, okay, what does this character do? How does this character feel? How does this character relate with the world? And then you actually put that onto the model to say, hey, I need you to be thinking about this while we're shooting, or um, I need you to feel this way, like, or say, remember in that one scene when this thing happened to the character. Let's kind of explore that and put you in that space, because, and especially so with cosplay, more than other art forms, these are normally not models or actors. They are people who enjoy that particular character or that particular series, and they put on the costume because They just enjoy being in that world, but they're not always necessarily people who know how to emotionally connect that to an audience. And if you're taking images of them, it's your job as a photographer to make sure that their image has punch. So sometimes you got to push them to be maybe a little uncomfortable and to do more than they normally do, And it's like that's I full disclosure, I did a shoot recently, and my wife was looking at the photos and was like, well, what's going on with the model's face, and I was like, that's my fault, because I was focused on the lighting, the framing, and all that stuff, and I did not direct the model to give me more. And the model was new to modeling, so they didn't necessarily know um, that it was important to emote, And I may have mentioned it once, but I didn't push throughout the whole thing. So you got to remember that as a photographer, it is your job to make sure that the images have pow, have pop. It's on you, and to be like, yeah, but the model didn't. You got to figure that out. You got to figure out what to say to them, how to push them so they give you everything that you want. So again, yeah, if you want a little bit more to your photo sessions, actually plan it out before you show up. Say, what do I want to get out of this? What direction do I want to push this thing? And it could be a joint planning with the person that you're shooting. And if they don't have any idea, it can be all you. You can say, what, I want to do this, and this is my inspiration. This is a direction where I want to take this shoot. And I'm a big fan of overlaying something that has nothing to do with the shoot, because it's going to bring out a whole different color, a whole different texture. You know what I mean? So if it's like, okay, the model has on jeans and a t-shirt, but we are going to approach this like they have on formal wear. What does that do? You never know. You never know. Yes, do the typical. Do what's in front of you, right? But definitely find space to do something that's not there, to kind of push it in a different direction, and you might come up with something crazy, something that you love. All right. So that's that. Like I say, bring actual thought to your photo shoot, thoughts beyond the lighting and the framing and what f-stop you're using. That stuff's kind of going to take care of itself. And especially if you've been doing this for a while, you know that stuff already. You don't have to worry about that. The thing that you have to do is to really kind of create art and create emotion. So if you haven't, you should check out my sister site, umbrellastock.com. We cover Black life, and what we do is we have lifestyle imagery of Black people that's sometimes difficult to find. If you're a business owner, or if you run a website and you've wanted to find just kind of images of Black people just doing regular stuff, umbrellastock.com is where you want to go for that. If you use the coupon code umbrella25, you get 25% off of your first purchase. All right, eyes up, stay sharp.